Wow, here we go. It's June. It's already been another 30 days. Time for another real estate market update. So we're going to touch base on Massachusetts, Bristol County, Rhode Island, Florida. Then we'll talk a little bit about multifamilies. And then at the end of the video, we'll dive into my hometown again. We'll talk about Swansea, Somerset, Seekonk, Dighton, Rehoboth, Warren, Bristol, Barrington, all those towns like that. All right, so let's take a look at Massachusetts. So Massachusetts, on average, the average sales price is still going over asking. In the last 30 days, 3% over asking is the average. And the average sales price in Massachusetts, $789,000. The average list price, $771,000. Average days on market, 32 days on market. So what stood out to me is when I was looking at the breakdown by price point, and what it does is it breaks it down into $50,000 increments. When you start off at $150,000 and go all the way up to $3,999,000, the average on all of those price points was all over asking. That whole wide range from $150,000 to $3,999,000. So that kind of jumped out to me. So I was looking at it a little more and trying to see the categories, and a couple of the categories that jumped out a little bit, but like I said, they're all over asking. Is $1 million to $1,499,000. There was 301 properties sold in that price range, and the average was 5% over asking. So, if you're looking for like a hot price point in Massachusetts, that's one of the hottest price points in Massachusetts. Well, it is the hottest price point in Massachusetts. And if you're looking on the buyer's end, where can I get a deal, even though all these are over asking? Not every single category, like a lot of the flip homes, like $50,000 and to $99,000. Those were going under asking. So just the range that I'm talking about from $150,000 to $3,999,000, where I said they're all over asking. The one range you might want to try to look at is actually a very affordable range, $200,000 to $249,000. Massachusetts, there was 66 homes sold in that range in the last 30 days, and those only went 1% over asking. So, at that price point, 1%, you're talking average sales price, $226,000, average list price, $227,000. So you're not saving a ton, but when you compare it to the other price points, that's the price point, that would be best, if you look at a purchase and try to get a deal in Massachusetts. All right, so now let's talk about Bristol County. So Bristol County, on average, 2% over asking. Average sales price in Bristol County, $548,000. Average list price, $542,000. Average days on market, 39 days on market. So same thing here with a lot of the average price points being over asking. So from $300,000 to $799,000, all of those price point categories on average were over asking. In one price point, again, Bristol County kind of in line with Massachusetts in this aspect, from $250,000 to $299,000, there was 10 homes sold, and those on average in Bristol County went 2% below asking. So that's kind of the sweet spot right now where you can get a deal. But some of those could be fixer-uppers, flippers type houses. So it's kind of tough to tell exactly without actually going and looking at all 10 of these properties. But just a general overview, that's the sweet spot. That was one of the only sweet spots that was like, below asking. And now on to Rhode Island. So in Rhode Island, average sales price right now, $560,000 is the average. And the average days on market in Rhode Island is actually lower. Only 29 days on average on the market in Rhode Island. As far as Florida goes, in Florida, average sales price, $462,000. And the average days on market is still high in Florida, 44 days on market on average. And right now in Florida, homes are going about 1.1% below asking on average in the last 30 days. So while we're talking about Florida, I'm just going to throw, one of the major cities that's there, that's Orlando. And right now the average sales price in Orlando is $432,000. All right, so now for some of the investment opportunities, if you look at the multifamilies in Massachusetts right now, the multifamilies on average are going 1% over asking. Average sales price on a multifamily, $718,000. Average list price, $713,000. Average days on market, 37 days. One of the categories that really jumped out that's really selling hot is from $300,000 to $349,000. There's been 14 of those multifamily sold in the last 30 days, and the average sales price was 8% above asking. So on average there, they're asking $297,000 on average, and they're getting $319,000. As far as multifamilies go in Bristol County, it's pretty much even right now. You're pretty much getting what you're asking for on average. Right now, the average sales price is $509,000. The average list price is $511,000. And average days on market in Bristol County for multifamilies, 42 days. A couple categories that jumped out to me here a little bit. If you're looking for a deal, 350, which is actually the opposite of Massachusetts. It's kind of surprising me a little bit there. But from 350 to 349,000 in Bristol County, there's been 5 of those multifamilies sold in the last 30 days. And the average there was 5% below asking, 5% below. So that's really good. You're not seeing a whole lot of that in today's market conditions. So the average price there was, they were listing it on average at $401,000, and the average sales price was $378,000. So if you're looking for a deal on a multifamily, maybe look through Bristol County and look in that price range. And one of the ones on the flip side that's on the hot side is the, right above it, that range right there, $400,000 to $449,000. There was 7 properties sold, and the average there was 4% above asking. So the average there, the sales price was $429,000, and the average list price was $414,000. And then for Rhode Island multifamilies, the average sales price was $475,000. All right, so now let's dive into my hometown and the surrounding towns that I also consider my hometown. So we'll start off with Swansea. So in Swansea right now, you can actually find some deals in Swansea. So on average, last 30 days in Swansea, the average is 3% below asking. So the average sales price in Swansea is $453,000, and the average list price is $470,000. And that's based on 11 homes, and average days on market is high in Swansea, 50 days on average. But there was, a couple homes that kind of bumped that number up. So the one category in Swansea, if you're looking, for a deal as a buyer, between $350,000 to $399,000, similar to Bristol County with the multifamilies, it's only based on 2 homes. So, when you have lower numbers, it's kind of totally tough to tell, what's going on in the market as far as trends, because it could just be an outlier that throws it off when you're looking at the smaller towns. But it's still good to take a look at, and see exactly what's going on in these towns. So on average, in that price point, $350,000 to $399,000, there was 2 homes, and the average days on market was 92 for those 2 homes. So that's kind of what bumped that number up to 50. But those 2 homes, 6% below asking, was the average. So the average sales price there was $372,000, and the average list price was $396,000. And then also another category, it was only 1 home. So like I said, in these towns, but from $700,000 to $799,000, it was 1 home that sold, and that one sold for 8% below asking. So, the average sales price there was $780,000. I shouldn't say average. The sales price was $780,000, and the list price was $849,000. So that was another category too. And then also, I don't want to spend too much time on Swansea, but from $500,000 to $599,000, 3 homes were sold. Average days on market 72 days, but 4% below asking there. So really, the only category that went above asking in Swansea was, there was 4 homes sold from $400,000 to $449,000, and they averaged 1% above asking. So the average sales there, $410 was the average sale, $408 was the average list price. So, when you're talking those numbers, 1%, it's not a huge deal, but, compared to 8% below and 6% below, you're saving some money. It's not crazy money, but you are saving some money, in Swansea if you look at certain price points. All right, so now let's take a look at Seekonk. So in Seekonk, average sales price, 2% below asking. So it kind of goes with the trend, of Swansea. So the average sales price in Seekonk, $574,000. Average list price, $586,000. Average days on market, 36 days. And that's based on 13 homes. So some of the categories there, if you're looking above asking, 400 to 449,000. There was 3 homes, and they went on average 2% above asking. And then from 450,000 to 499,000, it was 2 homes, and on average they are 3% above asking. But obviously there's some other categories, that kind of skewed the numbers off. So one category too is the 1 million to 1,499,000. There was 2 homes sold in that range, and the average was 5% below asking. So that's kind of what pulled some of the averages down for Seekonk, Massachusetts. And then also in Seekonk, the average, again, when we're looking at this price point that keeps jumping all over the place, is 350 to 399,000, but again, below asking. So, Massachusetts, that's a hot spot, but here in Bristol County and the hometown so far, what we're looking at is that's also a sweet spot because that went 3% below asking. So average there was 380,000, average list price 389,000. All right, now let's talk about Somerset. So Somerset was on the hot towns list last month. So what are they looking at this month? So this month they kind of cooled off a little bit, and there could be a reason for that, which I'll get to in a minute. So on average in Somerset was 1% above asking. So that's actually, better than Swansea and Seekonk because those are going above asking, but it's only 1% above asking. Average days on market, 49 days on market. And, some of the categories that stuck out to me is there's still a really hot spot in Somerset. So from 400,000 to 449,000, there was 1 home sold in that category, and that went for 6% above asking. And then from 450 to 499,000, the average there was 3% above asking. And then 500 to 599,000, the average there was 5% above asking. So that's kind of the sweet spot if you're looking to sell in Somerset. But if you're looking to purchase, again, 250 to 299,000, as we're starting to see that trend. Yeah, it was only 1 home, but it went 10% below asking. So they were asking 329,000, and they received 295,000. But one thing that I saw for Somerset when I was taking a look at these numbers, that kind of brought it down to the pack a little bit, was probably this 1 home that really made an impact. This 1 home was listed for 1.2 million and sold for 1,025,000. So that 1 home went for 15% below asking. So that's probably what brought Somerset back down to the pack a little bit. Not totally. You are seeing, the numbers aren't quite as high as last month, but that definitely had an impact, on the overall statistics. All right, now let's take a look at Rehoboth. So Rehoboth, 2% above asking. So on average in Rehoboth, 608,000. Average list price, 602,000. And average days on market, 36 days. So there was only 9 homes that sold, in Rehoboth. And a couple of the categories that jumped out a little bit. I mean, there was 1 home in the $350,000 to $399,000 range, and that one went for 10%, above asking. So that was a, pretty good turnout on that one property. The average sales price there was $385,000, and they listed the home at $349,000. And then there was another category, looking at from the buyer's end, that brought the number down a little bit. You got 4% under asking, and that was a home that was sold for $860,000. And it was listed at $900,000. So, different ranges in Rehoboth, but on average 2% over asking. As far as Dighton goes, it's pretty much even. What you're asking for is what you're getting in Dighton. On average, $628,000 was the average sales price. Average list price, $626,000. And there was only 6 homes sold, in Dighton. Average days on market, it's 67, which is high, but that's because there's this one category, that the average was 153 days on market, for 2 homes from the $700,000 to $799,000 range. So that probably brought, obviously it brought the average days on market up, because the other categories is like 23 days on market on average, 25 days. So, not too bad, except for that one category for days on market. All right, so now let's jump over to Rhode Island. So Bristol, Rhode Island, average sales price right now, $651,000. Warren, Rhode Island, average sales price, $443,000. Barrington, Rhode Island, average sales price $694,000. All right, so that's a wrap on this month's real estate market update for June. Also, stay tuned. I'm also going to be filming right after this the hot towns. So let's see what the hot towns look like, for the last 30 days, and just kind of see what's changed, if there's any new towns on there, or if some of the old towns are still on there. So stay tuned for that video. That one will be coming out, shortly after this one. So thanks for watching. Again, I'm your real estate resource. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. My number's here on the screen. Always feel comfortable giving me a call. Have a great day. Enjoy the warm weather.